Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello, and we are back again.
Hi.
We did sort of like back in the day for our new Charlotte fam. There was a time when right when the pandemic started, our podcast, we did it every day, like every weekday.
Every day.
Yes. Can you hear okay, Holly?
No, not really.
Is it really loud?
I mean, it's just very loud, but I can hear you.
Okay, good. For some reason, when it's
It'll go
coming
away,
from the
okay.
button bar, it's really loud. But yeah, so we did our podcast every day at the beginning of the pandemic. And then we took our morning show from the regular 6 to 10 to 6 till 11.
No, we went to 6 till noon.
Oh, that's right. We went to noon. Whew, girl.
We were on the air from 6 a.m. until noon, and then we would do a podcast. Let it never be questioned as to whether we have dedication to our community.
This is true. I mean, we did the dang thing, and we did it hard and long.
We went real hard.
Yes, we did.
But like it felt like the right thing to do.
Absolutely. I feel like if you go back for our new Charlotte fam and the Platypus Posse, go back to the podcast, you can hear how we all together were trying to understand what was happening. Like when you go back and look, and this is why this morning we talked about the MonkeyPox.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, remember when we first heard of like coronavirus?
Yes.
And it was like, what's this thing? What's over in China, Wuhan? It's not gonna be anything. And then it was like,
literally in December, we were like, I heard about it. And I'm like, it was gathering something, but just like anything gathers traction. I was like, whatever. I literally was like, I saw it. I'm like, oh, there's another one of those crazy ass things that'll just go away.
And then it was like more and more and more. And I remember getting mad, but then being like, wait, maybe he's right. Our old boss, boss man Will, from our previous radio station, we were going to do like a blood drive because right at that time, we were talking about how gay men could not donate blood. Just from something like really random that popped up. And that was a conversation on our show at the time. And so we were going to do some sort of blood drive where, like, for instance, like, Holly, you can give blood as a straight woman who has relations with a straight man, but myself as a gay man who is monogamous with my husband cannot donate blood.
Right.
Even if we've never been with anybody else for 20 years, just the fact that the two of us are together as two men, we can't donate blood. Now the rules have loosened a little bit where now it's like 6 months. You can't be with anybody. So my husband and I, Abe, would have to like not have sex for 6 months to be able to donate blood. But you as a straight woman, could,
because in 2022 we don't have any way of checking blood.
Right. Like
from anybody, by the way. Who is not checking everyone's blood?
Right? You could go bang the house down and be like, all right, take my blood. Ridiculous. And Anne-Marie said, what about lesbians? I think lesbians can donate. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know, though.
But don't take my word for it. You'd have to Google it real quick. But I think it's just gay men that.
But regardless, it's so freaking stupid. Anyway, that was what was on. We were going to do a blood drive.
Right. And so what we were going to do, I thought was really cool, is like we would have our gay listeners, like you bring your straight friend that could donate in honor of you.
Right.
Because we had a listener that donated blood in honor of me since I couldn't. And so we were like talking with one of the blood places in Tampa. And we were like, well, we can do the show out there one day. And then I think it was
it was set for like the second week of March.
Yes. And so I think it was like right at the end of February, boss man Will, our previous boss, was like, we might have to postpone it. And I was like, no, we can't. We have to do this.
We will not.
We can't. We've talked about it. Like, we've had this whole organic campaign for once in radio. This wasn't like a let's plan it and make it sound organic. Like this was truly like it just started and it rolled and tumbled. And he was like, no, we got to cancel it.
He's like, there's this pandemic thing, because were they even calling it a pandemic yet? He's like, this virus. Yeah, we were just calling it a virus. He's like, this virus, it's got people a little weird. I don't think it's a good idea to be doing a blood donation drive. And we were like, I mean, are you sure? And he's like, I just want to err on the side of caution here.
Yeah. And so we were like, all right, we canceled it or postponed it at the time. And we were like, well, we'll do it
maybe in like May. Fine. We'll do it in May. No big deal.
And then March 13th, the world said,
shut down.
Fuck what you heard.
Fuck around to find out.
And the world changed. So anyway, I say all that to say, when we talked about monkeypox this morning, I was like, I didn't want to like make light of it just in case, but I'm like, I'm still going to insert some sort of humor here. But I'm like, from everything I've read so far about it, it's not going to be a thing because it's not like the coronavirus where it's like airborne or, all that other stuff.
Remember in the beginning when we didn't think coronavirus was airborne either?
Yeah.
Like that was a mess. I will tell you, I watched Contagion like a month before it hit us.
Oh.
And so that scared the shit out of me. So I went in with bad expectations. But anyway, when I did do the monkeypox story today, like it's just one of the many things, like what we actually thought coronavirus, now known as COVID, was going to be. Remember when Zika was a thing?
Oh, yeah.
The
Ebola.
Like, Ebola. Remember when Ebola was a thing?
West Nile virus.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Monkeypox is lining up to be kind of like those.
Right.
So not,
even though there's one here in
COVID.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I woke up and saw that this morning and I was like, oh gosh, I'm nervous.
Ain't nobody wanted the damn monkeypox, but like, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. So anyway.
Famous last words. I mean, someone's going to come back and quote this fucking podcast and be like, Holly O'Connor.
Now, speaking of Holly, so you're back in Tampa. I'm actually flying down there. And like, this is going to make a real short podcast because I got to finish some stuff. I'm actually going to be doing the show with you on Monday in Tampa.
I'm excited. I love when you come to Tampa. It's only happened once before.
Yeah.
But I liked it because then in my building, I go around like a proud mom. I'm like, my partner's here. I have one. This is my person. Like y'all have your teams and I'm just a loose cannon by myself, but not today.
Hey, I got somebody here.
And then I'm like dragging Miguel and I'm like, have y'all seen Miguel? He's here. I feel like, so my mom is in this skilled nursing facility. Every fucking time I go, she got to go past somebody and she's like, my sister's here. And I'm like, daughter. But yes, I am. And I'm like, I've met Frank.
Yes.
Every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've met Frank. But if you've ever had like a parent or a grandparent in one of those places, or just in life, like usually the grandparent parent that's older or maybe not quite with it is like, have you met my son, daughter, whatever? And the person's like, yes, we've met. Like that's me with Miguel at iHeart Tampa. Have y'all met Miguel?
Hey.
Do you want to say hi to Miguel? He's here today.
Hey, here, so I'm excited. But I'm curious, did you wear a mask at the airport or on the plane?
No.
Oh, well, because, you just had COVID.
I already had the COVID. I had the COVID. I would say there's more non-masked people than masked people. But there were still some maskers. And, for whatever reason.
Right.
And the pilot made a good announcement. He was like, due to new federal regulations, you are not required to wear a mask, but we do ask that you respect your neighbor's choice as to whether they do or don't. Like, that's where we are. Like, do what you want to do. I didn't, because I really literally feel like I have absolute, like I could get the flu, I suppose, but I'm kind of at a level of still cautious about like germs more so now than I was pre-pandemic.
Right.
Like, obviously I carry like hand sanitizer with me now. Stuff like I'm more cognizant, but I'm not doing like the pandemic rituals that we did in the heat of it. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I still tend to make sure that I, like, if I'm around a lot of people, like I don't know, like this is I'm thinking about what I do, and it's one of those things that you unconsciously do. And now that I'm like, how have I like changed? Like I wash my hands way more than I used to. But like if I'm at the grocery store or anywhere really where it's tight quarters outside of a club, because usually I'm drunk, I will like hold my breath if someone like walks really close next to me.
Why do you do that?
Like I said, it's an unconscious thing. Like it's not something that I'm like, oh, there goes Bob. It's just something that I just can't, and it's not a big deal. I just go.
Do you think that you'll stop doing that eventually?
Maybe.
Because like it doesn't. It's like logically you're going to clubs,
right? Well, that's why I said
catch something.
It's literally right. It's like sneezing. Like you just do it. It's just you don't even think about it. It just happens. Where it's just like, because I noticed it the other day when I was at Publix, and I was just someone walked like oh no, I was like looking at different condiments, of course, and somebody like came right next to me, and I was like, okay. Oh, there goes the spicy ranch. It was behind the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Whatever you got to do.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let's see here. Harkening back to the earlier conversation about blood donors, Anne Marie said, Miguel, I'm a universal receiver. I would totally take your donation to save my life. Thank you. And you can always watch the podcast on the Miguel and Holly Facebook page or YouTube channel.
Correct.
And then thank you, Cynthia, who said, y'all make radio awesome. And then she said, are you living in Tampa again? I've been off. No, I'm in Charlotte, and Holly splits her time between Charlotte and Tampa.
Right.
And
I know it's a little wonky, but this is what we deal with.
Amy said, wish I could see you guys this weekend. And yes, I am coming down for Pride, St. Pete Pride this weekend. So I'm excited because this will be like my first Pride event in the area that I've gone. No, I take that back. I went to Tampa Pride back. What?
Oh, shit.
What?
Our boss just sent us this thing that said, in case you missed it, see below.
What?
Hold on, I got to read this. Okay, hold on. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, here we go.
Fuck. Well, the email that I'm seeing just says Roe v. Wade overturned by Supreme Court in landmark decision. Okay. And of course, we get the reminder to be smart broadcasters when discussing controversial information. Facts, of course. And I haven't had the chance to read any of this, but it says the Supreme Court decision ends nearly 50 years of federally guaranteed access to abortion and will have long-term consequences for reproductive health. I won't say any more about facts because I have not read this article yet. That just popped up.
Hold on. This is literally happening in real time. So this is like you're getting us right as this is going down. I'm just gonna read this. This is from Politico.
Okay.
The Supreme Court on Friday revoked the constitutional right to an abortion that has been in place for half a century, overturning Roe versus Wade on a 5-4 vote, clearing the way for dozens of states to swiftly ban the procedure and throwing the country into uncharted political, legal, social, and medical territory.
It is.
The bombshell decision is set to upend races across the country as governors, attorney generals, and other state and local leaders gain new powers to decide when abortion will be permitted, if at all, and who should be prosecuted and potentially incarcerated when bans take effect. The High Court's vote to overturn nearly 5 decades of court rulings upholding a right to end a pregnancy won the support of 5 of the court's 6 conservative justices, while Chief Justice John Roberts and the court's 3 liberal justices opposed the overruling Roe. And those are the facts. So when we talk about this on the air, it's very like, here's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast is our personal opinion. If you are a woman, I am sorry. I am sorry. This is very scary. I don't like to be an alarmist, and I will let you know straight up in this podcast that I'm a diehard liberal, and this makes me very, very scared. And I've chosen not to talk on the podcast since we've been here in Charlotte about a lot of the things going on politically, because I don't have any way of being neutral in it, because I'm scared with some of the stuff that's coming out. Holly, I don't know if you want to say anything on it, or if you just, and you can choose whatever. If you're like, I'm not in a place right now to speak on it, that is okay.
I don't have any thoughts together. I'd need to process it, because this is usually what happens. I get like gobsmacking information, and then it takes me at least, and I don't know why, but it takes me at least like 30 minutes to an hour to like fully let it download.
Right.
I have slow downloads.
Right. Absolutely.
This is not something that is a good thing to me. For a lot of different reasons. I think a lot of people, I don't know. I can't, I don't know. I don't know. Here we are in fucking uncharted waters again, though.
So,
what? Is this also Politico?
No. This is straight from the opinion that the conservatives put out. Justice Thomas. And so what happens when the Supreme Court puts out a decision? They pick one justice to write the decision or to write the opinion for the winning side, and one for and they pick one justice to write the opposing side that says, this is why we dissented, for record. So I'm assuming that Clarence Thomas is the one that wrote the opinion on this is why we're voting this way. And straight from the ruling, we should reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Oberfeld.
What did I'm
hold
sorry.
On. No, fine. I'm gonna clarify. I'm just reading it. These are the facts, and I'm gonna interpret. The Supreme Court has a duty to correct the error established in landmark cases on the rights to contraception, same-sex relationships, and same-sex marriage. Those cases are the cases that allowed for like sodomy, gay sex, allowed that to be not illegal.
Right.
And Oberfeld is the ruling that made gay marriage legal in 2015. So what happens usually in our country is the Supreme Court makes a decision. And so then like with gay marriage in 2015, they made it legal, and they said, this is what we believe, this is how we interpret the law, and so boom, it becomes legal. And so then what usually happens, like with Roe versus Wade, they call those usually super precedents, that if this is the way the Supreme Court justices feel, this is the way the country feels, then this is a precedent we can't overturn, which is why usually whenever they have a Supreme Court nominee, they go through all those questions about, well, do you believe this? Do you believe that? And they always sort of say, where do you stand on this? And then usually they go, well, that's a super precedent, so I don't think that opinion should be touched, as in Roe versus Wade or gay marriage. So what Justice Thomas is saying is we need to go back and look at all of these rulings that allowed for abortion, for gay marriage, for sodomy. So that means if somebody were to challenge the gay marriage case and take it to the Supreme Court, with the way the court sits right now, they could say gay marriage, no.
Would they then put it back to the states?
That is, it just depends on how. I don't know. Let me not speculate. I don't know. Yeah. Because that's where you need like someone with a law background to be able to explain more about the legal workings of the ramifications of how that works.
So are they actively going to review, or they're just saying like, hey, since we overturned Roe v. Wade, in the future, we can review more? I don't know.
Yes. So basically, like all the podcasts and stuff that I listen to, what they say, and hold on, I want to make sure I get this correct. You know what? I'm not even going to try to explain it. There is something with privacy,
yes,
or that is
it's a right to privacy.
A right to privacy. Like that's how abortion and gay marriage and stuff like that was able to, because we as citizens have a right to be able to get an abortion, to be able to be able to get married, or marriage equality or whatever.
Right.
So what they're saying by saying Roe versus Wade, and this is why people were like, oh, liberals are just going crazy. They're just going crazy. Oh my God, is because this is what we were afraid that would happen. It's not just going to stop here. This is basically, and this is my interpretation.
Opening the door.
This is they're saying, hey, we have the court leaning this way. If there's any time that you want to try to get these other rulings struck down, like Roe versus Wade, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
So, I just want to say some words, but I'm not going to.
It's just not a good precedent to set. Man, I'm sorry. Carefully. Well, I wish I had a better, more something to say, but I gotta. I'm not happy, personally.
Right.
It just feels so demoralizing. I do have a lot of thoughts. They're probably super controversial. So per, instructive emails, I don't want to be controversial in this moment when I'm also spinning,
Yeah. All I'm going to say is that no.
You got to be careful.
No, I know.
You got to be careful because bad things can be said that can't be taken back.
Exactly.
If you're in the heat of the moment.
I'm just going to do this is if you are scared, if you are nervous, if you are frightened, if you are confused, this is not the end. There are people that are going to fight this. There are people that are going to fight to make sure that we're not going to send our country back into the dark ages.
I mean, I feel like it, but
I am going to, throughout the weekend, well, happy fucking Pride. I'm going to be posting resources on my Instagram at Miguel Fuller. Not going to say anything angrily. I'm just going to say, hey, if you want to do something, this is how you do it. Register to vote. Run for office. If you've ever had an inkling in your mind that I want to do something and I'm angry, this is the time to make that decision and to make things happen, because people that want to send our country back and take away our freedoms and our rights, and Holly and I, as a gay black man and a straight white woman doing a show together, me being unmarried, so. Like, you want to have a credit card, Holly? Well, sorry about you. You're a woman. My white husband, well, I guess I'll go back to calling him my boyfriend. But there are people that are going to fight to make this happen. And so this is the time to get up and vote. And so all the years that you've ever listened to us on the radio, when I told you that we've got to vote, this is why. It affects every fucking thing that we do. The air that you breathe, the roads that you drive on, who you now can marry, and your health. Everything in your life is affected by your vote. So I'm just gonna end there.
Yeah.
I love you, and we are going to fight. So if you want to follow my Instagram at Miguel Fuller, as soon as I wrap up here and I get to the airport, I'm just going to be digging down in my phone looking for resources and donating money and calling people.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I hope you're able to feel some joy this weekend during Pride, because you deserve it.
Thank you. All right, let's go. Why can't I fucking hear this? Well, there you go.
I think you turned it off. That's the end of that.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.